a young star caught in the crossfire. Millie Bobby Brown took the world by storm as the fearless 11 in Stranger Things, capturing hearts with her raw talent and magnetic presence. But behind the fame, behind the flashing cameras and red carpets, lurked a dark and relentless enemy: body shaming. From an early age, Millie was placed under an unforgiving microscope, where every aspect of her appearance was dissected, criticized, and ridiculed. She was too young, too mature, too skinny, too curvy. No matter what she did, she couldn't escape the endless scrutiny. But then, something changed. Instead of letting the hate define her, Millie did something unexpected. She fought back. In a world where celebrities are expected to remain silent, she chose to speak up, and her words sent shockwaves through Hollywood, sparking an important conversation about beauty, confidence, and the toxic culture of online criticism. This is the story of Millie Bobby Brown's battle against body shaming, a battle not just for herself, but for every young person struggling to feel comfortable in their own skin. A star is born, and so is the judgment. Millie Bobby Brown's rise to fame was meteoric. At just 12 years old, she became a household name thanks to her groundbreaking role in Stranger Things. Fans adored her, critics praised her, and suddenly, she was one of the most recognizable young stars in Hollywood. But with fame came an entirely different kind of attention. People were no longer just talking about her talent. They were obsessing over her appearance. The world watched as she grew from a child into a teenager. But instead of celebrating her journey, many used it as an excuse to judge, comment, and criticize. Every award show appearance, every red carpet event, and even casual paparazzi photos became a breeding ground for cruel remarks. She was either too grown up for her age, or too childish, too thin, or too full-figured, too stylish, or too plain. No matter what she did, the internet had an opinion, and those opinions weren't always kind. The internet turns toxic. Social media has become both a blessing and a curse for celebrities. While it allows stars to connect with their fans, it also provides a direct pathway for hate to spread like wildfire. For Millie, the online world became a battleground where she had to constantly defend herself against faceless critics. What should have been a platform for celebrating her achievements turned into a toxic environment filled with relentless negativity. People hid behind their screens, throwing insults without a second thought. They picked apart her body, her face, her outfits, even her posture. It was as if her every move was subject to approval from an audience that never seemed satisfied. And it wasn't just random internet trolls, the media joined in too. Tabloids ran headlines analyzing her changing body. Gossip blogs debated whether she looked too old for her age. And YouTube videos dissected her red carpet looks. The pressure was overwhelming, and for someone so young, the weight of constant criticism was crushing. The breaking point. Enough is enough. For years, Millie tried to ignore the negativity, choosing to focus on her career and personal growth. But even the strongest person can only take so much before reaching their breaking point. The moment came when the cruel comments became too much to bear. Every post, every photo, every public appearance seemed to invite a fresh wave of hate. She realized that staying silent wasn't an option anymore. She could either let the world define her, or she could take back control of her own narrative. And so, she did the unthinkable. She spoke out. In a heartfelt and unfiltered statement, Millie Bobby Brown addressed the body shaming head-on, calling out the unrealistic beauty standards placed on young women. She refused to be reduced to just her looks, reminding the world that she was more than a body. She was a person, an artist, and an individual with worth beyond appearance. Her words weren't just a response to the hate, they were a declaration of self-love, strength, and resilience, and they resonated with millions. A powerful message that shocked the world. When Millie finally spoke up, the world took notice. Her message was raw, emotional, and incredibly powerful. She reminded everyone that no one deserves to be judged based on their appearance, especially young girls who are still discovering who they are. "I am who I am, and I love who I am," she declared. "I will not let the world tell me otherwise." Her courage ignited a movement. Fans flooded social media with messages of support, sharing their own experiences with body shaming. Other celebrities joined in, applauding her bravery and calling for change. What started as a personal fight became a global conversation about self-worth and acceptance. But the battle was far from over. The industry itself had to change, and Millie wasn't going to back down until it did. The dark side of Hollywood's beauty standards. Millie's experience is not unique. Hollywood has a long history of setting impossible beauty standards and punishing those who don't conform. Young actors, especially women, are expected to fit a specific mold, and those who don't are ruthlessly criticized. From Marilyn Monroe to Taylor Swift, countless female stars have faced similar scrutiny. The industry constantly dictates what is beautiful and acceptable, forcing celebrities to change themselves just to fit the impossible standards of fame. For young actresses like Millie, the transition from child star to adult performer is especially brutal. They are expected to be young and mature at the same time, to be attractive but not too much, to be slim but not too skinny. The hypocrisy is endless, and the damage is real. Turning pain into power. Instead of letting the hate consume her, Millie turned it into fuel for change. She became an advocate for self-love, confidence, and mental health awareness, using her platform to inspire others. She encouraged her fans to embrace their uniqueness, reminding them that true beauty comes from within. She called for more inclusivity in Hollywood, demanding that the industry stop holding young women to unattainable beauty standards. Most importantly, she showed the world that she wasn't just a star, she was a fighter, and she wasn't going to let anyone define her worth. The movement continues. Millie's words sparked a conversation that refused to fade away. Fans, celebrities, and activists joined forces to challenge body shaming, pushing for a world where people are judged for who they are, not how they look. Hollywood, too, started to take notice. Slowly but surely, more voices demanded change. The industry could no longer ignore the toxic culture it had created. Millie's courage was more than just a personal victory, it was a step toward a better future for everyone.